Turn to the second part of our program, where we're going to hear some testimonials. And it's my pleasure to introduce our first scholarship recipient. And this is Tyler Wallantine. As you heard, Tyler is one of the recipients of the Seeley Hinckley Scholarship. He is originally from Boise, Idaho. He is a double major in biochemistry and biological engineering, and he is currently a sophomore at Utah State, graduating in the class of 2023.
Awesome. Yeah, well, before I guess get into anything else, I just want to express my gratitude to the donors in the Seeley Hinckley Scholarship. I think that I speak for everyone when I thank these donors, whoever they may be, and just express how much this funding has helped me and helped us, and also enable us to pursue, I guess, our professional and academic goals. I think that it's not an unfamiliar thing for, I guess, all college students to feel like you're kind of pushed between a rock and a hard place with schooling sometime, where you're trying to juggle all sorts of things, from the finances of tuition to achieving academic excellence. And then that just gets compounded when you try and throw other things in, like extracurricular activities or research, all things that many of us are involved with anyways. And this was definitely the case for me, where when I came to Utah State, I had a passion for research, and I had a passion for basically focusing and learning as much as I possibly could about my careers and my subjects. But I found that a lot of my attention had to be directed away from that at first, as I tried to focus more on, I guess, receiving or making enough money to make ends meet. And I think a lot of us, we go through experiences where we work jobs that aren't related to our career paths because out of financial necessity and other things that perhaps can distract us from our main career goals. And I think that's an important part of life. I think that, sometimes you learn a lot when you are flipping burgers, or when you're knocking doors, or when you're getting yelled at by customers because you work in a call center all summer. Things that, I think many of us experience. I think those are important, but at the same time, I think it doesn't take away from the fact that it is a tremendous blessing to be able to focus entirely on your schoolwork and your research based off of the generosity of these donors. And so I don't want to take too much time, but I do want to just emphasize how grateful I am. And I want to speak in behalf of the students here and the college representatives here in thanking the donors for their generosity, which have enabled us to come closer to our goals today and throughout this next year. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys have done, and I appreciate the people who have helped to orchestrate this event so that we can express this gratitude. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tyler, for those heartfelt remarks. It's now my pleasure to introduce Mallory Hagadorn. As you heard, Mallory is a Zobel Scholarship recipient. Mallory is a fifth-year PhD student, born in rural Maryland. She holds bachelor's and master's degrees in biology with emphases in ecology and conservation. Mal?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. First, I wanted to say a few thank yous. First and foremost, I want to say thanks to all of the College of Science donors for their contributions and for attending tonight's ceremony. I wanted to say congratulations to all the scholarship recipients. Your hard work has paid off. I also wanted to say thank you to the College of Science, the College of Science Leadership Team, as well as the College of Science Advancement Board. I want to say thank you to the scholarship selection committees and all your hard work on that. Also, thank you to the Department of Biology. They've been an incredible place to be since the first day that I arrived in Logan. And lastly, I wanted to give a very special thank you to Barbara and Dean Zobel. Thank you, one, for being here, but also thank you for your generosity from all of the past and future recipients of the Zobel Scholarship. And thank you for continuously supporting students like myself as we pursue our academic endeavors. It really matters, and I'm honored to have earned this distinguished scholarship, as I know there were many incredible applicants. This award means a lot to me and my process as a scholar. And so I wanted to take just a second to tell you a little bit about myself and then circle back around to how it impacts me, because I think that can really hit home just how important these scholarships are. As was mentioned by Dean Hagan, I was born in this small town in rural Maryland, the boonies, as you would say. I grew up and my mom worked multiple jobs just to keep food on the table and just to keep us afloat most months. We didn't have a lot of money to go around, but my mom always emphasized how education should be a priority and making education a priority. And so as a first generation college student, I just feel really privileged to be where I am currently. And it's from the help of a lot of other individuals. In 2016, my spouse and I made the journey across the country to Logan so I could start pursuing my PhD. And somehow it crept up on me. I'm already in my 5th year and a PhD candidate within the Department of Biology. And what I do here is I like to ask questions and then get other people excited about insects. They're often these adorable little charismatic critters that people tend to overlook, but we can actually learn a lot from them. And I've had the privilege since I've been here of working in the Capine lab, where I just get to ask really cool questions about bees and their brains. And this goes from thinking about how social brains evolved or how social insects evolve their brains, to thinking about how certain members of a colony, the workers, will take care of their siblings instead of their offspring. So I've had this really incredible opportunity while I'm here at USU. And I've grown tremendously since joining my department and since joining the College of Science. And the time here spent at USU has been really pivotal for developing my skill set as a scientist, while also fostering my love for teaching. And so in spring of 2020, I was given this really incredible opportunity to teach a course. And while the transition to online was a bit of an unexpected hiccup for me, something I was not planning on, the experience really helped shape who I want to become when I finish my doctorate, and that's a lifelong educator and a researcher. Someday I hope to maybe get a faculty position at a university somewhere where I can work really closely with undergraduates and master's students. And I think that that's the place that I can really impact future generations of scientists. And so while I only just recently received the Zobel Scholarship this summer, it's already made a tremendous impact on my life. After growing up in the environment where I did, there was a whole lot of love, but a scarcity of money. And so getting this scholarship really validates this idea that others feel that it's worthy to invest in me as a scientist and someone that will hopefully do pretty well in my field someday, but also like validating that I'm worthy to get a scholarship like this. And I think that I can speak for all the other students that were awarded their scholarships, that hopefully they all feel that way as well. And I just want to share a little bit about how this impacted me thus far. I'll keep it pretty brief, but this has been pretty big for me. It helped to lay to rest some of the lingering imposter syndrome that is all too common. And it also helped to kind of rekindle this motivation and love that I have for learning or for research in these really uncertain times that we live in currently. It's a bit crazy. But also, as many of you remember, the large windstorms that swept through Logan in September, Well, unfortunately, during that storm, my car caught a tree. And within a few days of that, we had another unexpected financial burden, my spouse and I. And so this put me into a particularly precarious position that was just spoken about paying obligations that you have as a student. And while mine may be different than the obligations I had to pay when I was an undergraduate because I get a stipend, I had to, generally I would have had to pick between paying these obligations that I have in life. But fortunately, I got the Zobel scholarship, which really saved me from having to make an incredibly difficult choice, and allowed me to allocate a portion of that scholarship funding towards paying my student obligations so that I could use the money I saved for fixing my car. Without that assistant, I'm not entirely sure what my spouse and I would have done, and it could have actually ended a lot differently. And as for the remainders of the funds, I have one last experiment to conduct for my PhD, and so the rest of that scholarship will go towards research funding for that. And so again, I just wanted to say thank you to all of the donors. Thank you to the Zobels. Your generosity is incredibly important for impacting and making higher education feasible for students like myself. And as we, the recipients, get closer and closer to graduation, know that you played an incredible role in helping us along our academic adventures. So thank you so much.